General Hospital spoilers reveal that I remember sitting there watching that romantic evening between Isaiah and Portia unfold in the city, thinking how rare it is to see two people who've been through so much simply enjoy each other's company without the usual interruptions. Portia has always been such a strong, dedicated doctor and mother, carving out her own happiness after everything she's endured with her marriage to Curtis and the complicated history that came before. Isaiah, with his steady presence and quiet strength, seemed like the kind of man who could finally give her the peace she deserves. They looked so content, sharing laughs and glances that spoke volumes about the connection they've built. Then, in true Port Charles fashion, everything shattered when the police showed up with that arrest warrant. My stomach dropped right along with Portia's. I could practically feel the chill in the air as the officers stepped in and the romantic night turned into a nightmare. It's the kind of scene that reminds me why I've stayed loyal to this show for decades. One moment of tenderness, and suddenly the world comes crashing down. What really hit me hard was learning that Curtis had been the one pushing so hard behind the scenes. Urged on by Assistant District Attorney Justine Turner, he became convinced that the scratch on Isaiah's car was the ironclad proof needed to tie him to that hit-and-run accident. Curtis has always been a man of action, someone who fights for what he believes is right, especially after his own painful recovery and the way the accident affected Jordan too. I've watched him grow from a charming newcomer to a protective father and husband who's faced more than his share of physical and emotional scars. But this time, I have to admit, I see a different side of him, one driven by something deeper than pure justice. The evidence he presented might look solid on paper, that telltale mark on the vehicle seeming to line up perfectly with the scene of the crime, yet something in my gut tells me we're watching a terrible misunderstanding snowball into something far more dangerous. I've seen enough storylines over the years where circumstantial proof looked damning only to unravel later, and I can't help wondering if Curtis's determination here is colored by the complicated feelings still lingering between him, Portia, and Isaiah. It's not that I doubt Curtis's sincerity. I truly believe he thinks he's protecting the people he loves. But in my long experience with the show, that kind of certainty often blinds even the best of men to the bigger picture. The moment the news reached Brooklyn, I felt every ounce of her panic as if it were my own. She nearly collapsed, watching an innocent man being led away in handcuffs right in front of the woman he cares for so deeply. Brooklyn has always been a fiery, talented young woman with a big heart hidden under that Quartermaine resilience. I followed her journey from the music world to her complicated romance with Chase, and I know how much she values doing the right thing. The guilt she's carrying now is palpable. It's the kind that eats away at you from the inside, especially when you realize someone else is paying the price for your mistake. We've seen her wrestle with secrets before, but this feels heavier because it touches the man Portia has grown close to and the fragile new chapter they're trying to build. As someone who's raised a family and watched loved ones stumble into mistakes they couldn't undo, I ache for her. How can she stand there and say nothing while Isaiah's life is turned upside down? Yet I also understand the impossible position she's in, torn between truth and the fallout that confession would bring. And then Tracy stepped in, the way only Tracy can, grabbing her granddaughter's hand with that firm grip and delivering a warning that cut straight to the heart of the matter. She made it crystal clear that a confession right now would destroy Chase's career and stain the Quartermaine name forever. Tracy has been the unbreakable backbone of that family for as long as I can remember, the one who steps up when everyone else falters, even if her methods sometimes feel ruthless. I've admired her strength through countless scandals and losses, from business battles to personal heartbreaks, and I know she's acting out of fierce love for her family. Chase has worked so hard to build his life as an honest cop, and the Quartermaines have fought tooth and nail to maintain their legacy, despite all the drama that swirls around them. Tracy's words weren't just advice, they were a lifeline and a cage at the same time, forcing Brooklyn to keep living in that painful web of lies. I found myself nodding along even as my heart broke a little, because I've seen how one honest moment can ripple out and change everything in Port Charles. Is the cost of silence too high? I asked myself that very question while the scene played out, and quickly realized that in soap opera time, the truth has a way of surfacing, no matter how tightly it's buried. Brooklyn's strength will be tested, but I believe she'll find a way to navigate this without letting it destroy the people she loves most. What fascinates me most about this whole storyline is how it's weaving into something even larger for Portia. The story she's truly becoming obsessed with now isn't just the surface level romance or the legal drama, it's the deeper undercurrent of justice, betrayal, and the way the past keeps reaching into the present. And here's where things get really heated. This new obsession of hers is proving to be directly tied to Curtis's aggressive pursuit of Isaiah. Watching Curtis take such decisive action, almost like an attack on the man who stepped into Portia's life, has created a fresh crisis that feels explosive. Portia has always been a woman who values truth and fairness, especially after her own struggles with secrets and second chances. Now she's caught between the man she built a life with and the one who's offering something new and genuine. Curtis's determination to see Isaiah arrested isn't just about solving a case. It's stirring up old jealousies and forcing Portia to confront what she really wants for her future. I can feel the tension radiating from every scene, the way her focus has shifted entirely to this unfolding injustice. It's the kind of personal crisis that General Hospital does so brilliantly, where one family's secret threatens to unravel multiple relationships at once. I've been thinking a lot about how this differs from some of the earlier threads we've seen with the hit and run investigation. In the past, Curtis seemed more measured, gathering facts before leaping to conclusions, but this time the scratch on that car has become his smoking gun. And I wonder if his personal stake in Portia's happiness is making him see threats where none exist. It's a subtle shift, but one that proves how much the characters have evolved. Isaiah, for all his quiet dignity, now stands as the innocent figure caught in the crossfire, and that only heightens the drama for everyone watching. Brooklyn's guilt isn't just personal anymore. It's rippling outward, touching Portia's new chapter and Curtis's sense of purpose. Tracy's intervention, while protective, might actually be the very thing that keeps the pressure building until something has to give. I keep asking myself, will the truth come out before more lives are damaged? The answer, I believe, is yes, but not before we get several more weeks of nail-biting suspense, whispered conversations, and those quiet moments where characters stare into the distance wondering how they got here. What keeps me so invested after all these years is exactly this kind of layered storytelling. The show never lets us forget that every action has consequences, yet it also reminds us that redemption and forgiveness are always possible in Port Charles. Curtis may think he's doing the right thing by pressing forward with Justine Turner and that car evidence, but I suspect the writers are setting up a powerful reckoning where the real driver of that fateful night will have to face the music. Brooklyn's near collapse showed us her humanity, and Tracy's firm hand showed us the weight of family duty. Meanwhile, Portia's growing obsession feels like the emotional heart of the crisis, proving that Curtis's actions against Isaiah have ignited something new and urgent in her own life. It's a perfect storm of romance, justice, and loyalty, and I can't wait to see how it all collides. As I sit here reflecting on the latest episodes, I feel that familiar excitement bubbling up, the kind that makes me call my old watching buddies just to say, "You won't believe what happened today." The heat is on in Port Charles like never before, with secrets threatening to boil over and relationships hanging by a thread. Will Brooklyn find the courage to speak up despite Tracy's warnings? I think she will, but only after the guilt pushes her to her absolute limit. Will Curtis realize he might be targeting the wrong man before it costs him his marriage? My heart says the evidence will point elsewhere soon enough, forcing him to confront his own motivations. And Portia, her new obsession is going to be the catalyst that changes everything, turning this personal crisis into a turning point for the whole canvas. General Hospital has a way of making us care so deeply about these flawed, wonderful people, and this storyline is delivering on every level. It's raw, it's real, and it's filled with the kind of emotional payoff that keeps longtime viewers like me coming back episode after episode. I'm counting the hours until the next reveal, knowing that whatever happens next will be worth the wait. The lies, the guilt, the budding romance turned upside down, and the fierce family protection, it's all here, burning brighter than ever. And that, my friends, is why this show still has my complete devotion after all these decades. The drama is sizzling, the stakes are sky high, and I wouldn't miss a single moment of what comes next.